And we're back in the room. That one little rise on my brother. That one little bit.
I mean, I guess you're assessing me now.
Assessing you? Yeah, what are you wearing?
I don't know, I think I'm just wearing normal clothes.
Are they fabulouser than mine?
Almost certainly not if you spend extra resources on them.
Well,
although considering that you're wearing crap given to you, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's important. That's important. So you are actually better dressed than me.
I've got to make
barely
any
so
checks.
I'm certainly presenting myself officially. So
I've got to make.
Dominic is scowling.
I'm gonna make barely any checks at all today. Maybe like 3.
Cat goes
almost all of my checks are against Klyka.
Yeah, Klyka's very good for farming checks.
Klyka is also very good at like getting out of a friggin' alleyway. That was like a really hard climbing check that I did there.
It's funny when a rat has to abandon ship, how fast it can scurry. I get the feeling Judson is going to be a bit of a snarker.
The thing is, it actually started out with me being incredibly good at what I was doing because I did manage to get that fucking sergeant. It's just that guy didn't come down the friggin' stairs.
I'll tell you what, Christoph is not seemingly doing very well. He's not doing very well at adapting to the situation, changing radically not in his favour. It's not
so by the way, the chat is asking, will Klyka have a type of Assassin's Creed hidden blade? I've actually talked about this with Luke, and something like that might happen, because I'm basically playing Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed 2.
Sigphil has that, but he has to go ass first as the opponent.
I have a big knife I use for hunting ineffectually, and a bow that I use for hunting ineffectually. So, although I did hit someone.
If you haven't noticed yet, Kiko's character is pretty bad at being Kiko's character.
Except the fact that I managed to make a pretty difficult shot, which was actually classed as a challenging shot.
True.
You also managed not to get crushed by a building.
I managed also not to get crushed by a building, and I managed to...
went down some steps pretty quickly.
I managed to not get grabbed by you.
That is true, but you also managed to look down an alleyway and not see me show up right next to you.
Yeah, I don't have observation. That's not very hard.
You are a trout, good sir.
I don't have observation. It's not easy.
I've managed much in
this. It's not hard to beat someone who doesn't have an observation skill.
Says the man who dressed up as a woman and fell off almost fell off a bridge.
It didn't work. I wanted to throw a fucking anchor.
The fact stands, Christoph, that in the end your stealth amounted to nothing against me.
You just sink it.
Well, I didn't think I'd have to talk to someone.
Not to mention, Christoph, there is one fact that you aren't considering. I'm wearing armor, and you're not.
How would that have helped you?
That would have helped you if you decided to go at me in melee, and I went up into your grill with my machete.
True.
I honestly thought you were going to pretend to be a...
then again, what is your sword skill?
My knife skill's 2.
My sword skill is 3.
Hmm. But if I'm up in your grill, I'm within your reach.
I honestly thought you were going to pretend to be a hooker because historically sailors have, especially in this era, have gone for hookers.
The fact of the matter is,
I was considering that, but I was a bit confused about the setup, what was happening.
Yeah.
I sort of
the fact of the matter is, Kiko, we have no idea what would have happened.
Well, no, the fact of the matter is you really need to develop a more pleasant way of saying hello to people.
I did what? Why do you guys keep saying that?
Because your solution to saying hello to people is I jam them up to a wall and stick a sword to their neck.
It makes sense of what I did and how my character operates.
Have you considered that you might get more information by like trying to talk to people sensibly?
Dude,
today,
I would like
on
to point out,
channel, playing Klyka.
Okay, imagine the following thing.
Right.
Your guy, who thinks that he's safe, whose family was killed, who thinks he's hiding, gets an anonymous note. He starts being, like, super fucking nervous because someone knows where he is. So he still goes to this place where he waits. He sees a fucking huge group of armed people setting up. He sees a guy dressing up as a woman. He's got no idea what's going on. He needs to find out what is happening and how this has anything to do with them.
Gee, it would be terrible if I drew loads of attention to myself by threatening everybody at random.
How did I draw attention to myself?
Well, you at first tried to apprehend, you tried to stop Bethran, like forcibly.
No, what I tried to do wasn't stop him. I tried to stop him from following you, so I could tail you.
You tried to trip him up.
Yes, so I could tail you.
Yeah,
because I
but
knew
you
were the guys
drawing
who
a lot of
shit.
attention to yourself.
Which
Like,
was
by
fine.
trying not to draw a lot of attention to yourself, you ended up drawing a lot of attention to yourself.
Well, he's
no,
wearing a hood.
really, because
He's
my
wearing-
guy is all that
is.
good at it yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, that could be it. You know, like how
In the
you
end,
tried to do stuff and all you managed was run away.
in the end, my character is considering you to be a bit of an idiot, but that does make sense. Because it's like, why don't you just talk and say hello? I might have been more reasonable.
Jesus Christ, your character is a fucking idiot.
No, he isn't. My character's alive.
It's degraded a little bit since you left, Luke.
As what happened? We've had some RP.
There's
Good
been a-
RP.
No, I'm not sure. It's RP.
Judson,
Something like
no,
that.
there's no argument here.
Anyway,
My character
go on,
just
Luke,
thinks
go
he
on.
doesn't have any bedside manner.
Okay, I'm going to accelerate this conversation a little bit. But the long and the short of it, it's actually, if you guys want to, should we finish this conversation next session and do the wrap up now? Because it is 2 minutes to midnight.
And it's also 2 hours from the stream, by the way.
Okay, cool. So shall we wrap up? And that means we can do skill tests
Sounds good.
and
Sounds
all
good
that
too.
kind of good stuff. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to finish
way-
this conversation next
By the way,
time.
Kiko, were you recording all of this?
Yes.
Kiko, I still love you like a brother.
I never was angry at you. This is roleplay argument. This is the sort of stuff that happens.
In case that people like listen to this and they go like, man, Klaka's such a prick. I'm just gonna say like I still love Kikoskia.
He's just covering his
And then they hate
bases.
fucked in a barn.
Oh, it's going to be so much bromance.
No, there is no bromance here.
Why
Okay.
can someone just asked why can Rupert's character talk normal? Did you hear him talk?
Well, this is the guy who writes why can Rufus' character talk normal.
Anyway,
So I
Skill.
guess
Okay,
Skills.
just to give you some idea of what's going to be happening next. The first thing is skill upgrades.
Okay.
So, what tests do we have to take away for most of you? Phil, what tests did you take?
I had an opposed agility check with Kliko where I used a persona.
Okay, yes, that was a difficult test actually.
No, where it's 5 versus 5 in the end. 5 dice versus 5.
Yes,
I
but you
didn't
used
keep track of this stuff at all, except
But
for the
you-
Fate and Persona stuff.
right. Okay, in that case, we'll have to make assigning tests a little bit ad hoc. Okay, I'm going to give both of you a difficulty in that case. Both
Okay.
of you rolled a lot of successes. With a lot
One
of
difficult on agility.
Okay, both of you get a difficult agility.
I drew a brawl check with
where
Kliko,
do I
which
write
is
this
3
down?
versus 3.
You see next to your skills, there are a bunch of dots.
Yeah, I
And they
can't
should be
use
marked-
those.
Right. Well, in that case, we're going to probably have to start keeping track of these somewhere else.
Yeah.
What we might have to do is make a Google document.
I should have spread myself. I should have like printed myself this out at work.
Yeah, it would have been good, but it's all good. And then basically you just mark down the difficults, the challengings.
yeah, but
and
then you'd have had to waylay the printer with a sword.
I'll just put it under notes. So what was it like for me? It was an agility.
Don't worry, what I shall do is I shall note down all of the tests that all of you got.
Yeah, it sounds
So Rufert, Klika.
I've got track of mine, so it's not going to be hard.
Okay, so I'm giving all of you an obstacle 4 steel test.
Okay.
Steel test.
Well, compared
Wait,
to
I never had to use steel
I have
though.
steel
I never
4,
saw
so that would be
anyone die.
difficult, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be. But this is not a steel test that you took. This is a steel test that occasionally, after having witnessed some events, your characters come out of it.
Oh, okay.
So this is the equivalent of, even if you aren't directly involved in a murder, the fact that it happened means that you're now somebody who's experienced a murder.
Fair enough.
And it's because this is you've just experienced people dying and a serious explosion. So even if you didn't necessarily take a steel test, Phil also took an obstacle 8 steel test.
Right.
So I'm giving them separately.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we come to the opposed rolls. Both Phils get I'm going to say a difficult agility.
Yep. The next thing we did was a brawl check with each other. 3 versus 3. We drew it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have brawl?
Yep.
And
I
he
didn't.
doesn't.
I didn't. No.
So wait, you did draw it. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was after the obs, wasn't it? Okay, so that would actually
Yeah.
be. That's a routine for Phil. And
Routine on brawl.
Klika, you get. What is your power stat?
3.
And you roll 3 successes.
Yes.
I think, therefore, you get a I have to think about that one actually. I think you get a difficult test towards your power.
3-3.
Yeah, I think it's
3-3 is difficult. Says
yeah. It's difficult test towards power. Cool.
Next thing we did was a power check opposed, which I had 6 rolls. He had 3, and I failed.
That's fine. We normally say
So, yeah,
it's, in an individual scene for each individual thing, you take one test out for a given stat from a single scene. So you pick the test you most want, and take that. Okay, so Rufus, you took the following tests.
The only other thing was I did this perception check on the white powder.
But you failed. Failed perception test.
On the first, on actually spotting it, I did it.
He did succeed on the first
true.
spotting.
What was the? But I think the
was Ops 1.
Ops 1. Okay, yeah. Routine tests never go towards stats.
I did a speed test, by the way, on the sergeant to catch up with him.
That was a routine test.
Okay.
He rolled very low. You rolled very low. Both
so,
Rufus. Rufus, you took a disguise.
Well, and a sneaky and a scavenge.
You got a routine disguise and a difficult scavenge.
I thought you said the scavenge was easy, but I fucked it up anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was 3 versus 2. That was a routine scavenge actually. Yeah, 'cause it was 3 versus 2. Routine scavenge. Then we have.
Oh, by the way, I did the climbing thing where it was a 4 and I only have climbing 2 and I managed it.
That was with yes.
It was with points though. It was with I used a I used 1 persona and 1 fate on it.
Okay, so that was a challenging test.
Okay, I also used 1 fate on power and 1 fate on speed. 1 persona on speed.
Okay, one fate power, 1 fate speed.
No, 1 persona speed.
1 persona speed.
Yeah, and 1 persona and 1 fate on climbing.
Yep.
Which was the obstacle was 2 times my skill.
Okay, cool. Did anyone else spend persona?
We haven't done any of my skills yet.
I spent that 1 persona in the opposing agility check.
Okay, 1 F on 1 persona.
I think so.
We haven't done any.
I chose to have an extra die.
Cool. Yeah, that's persona. Kiko, you did bow check.
I did a very difficult bow check, as I recall. That was really
Do you want to take a difficult bow?
We worked.
Or challenging?
I think it was challenging because I worked it out. I've already put it down as challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, challenging bow.
I also have a routine stealthy here.
Do you have the stealthy skill?
You made it.
Yeah, I do have a stealthy skill. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. In that case.
I also did a skills being learnt climb check. That was a thing test towards aptitude.
Oh, but have you got all these noted down your sheet?
I have.
Okay, in that case, you're good to go. I don't need to worry about you.
The only other thing I had was that the opposed power roll with Klika, which is the one that he's talking about.
Okay,
yeah, I've got everything noted on mine.
Okay.
I didn't really do many rolls, so I didn't get much.
Good. Now, so that was a bit of a mess because like you guys weren't quite together yet, so there wasn't much unity of action. There was lots of like switching around, so most of you didn't get to do very much. Yep. Next session shall be somewhat more together. Okay, now we're going to hand out Arthur at the end of the session.
Okay.
So let's go through the following.
By the way, I can delete all the things I wrote. I wrote down, right? Like power and stuff. Right. Okay.
Okay. So first, did any of you? Sorry, 1 second. Let me find the Arthur section.
Did any of us do that? Well, none of us did victory dances at the end of the session, I'm afraid.
Useless. What do I pay you for?
You don't pay us.
I knew there was a reason I didn't pay you. Okay. Did any of you drive the game forward with a belief?
What does drive the game forward mean?
Basically, it means make things happen with reference to your belief. So it's like Kiko, for example.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I made a shot.
That's true. Actually, both Kiko and Klika get a fate point for that. Phil, did you use any of your beliefs?
If I did 2 beliefs, is that okay?
No, you get 1 fate.
Okay.
So 2 things that came up with reference to my belief, but I don't think either of them drove the game forward. Like I thought I could stomach killing, and instead failed the steel test with the guard, and I left no loose ends by getting rid of the white powder.
Okay, Rufus, did you... Actually, that does drive the game forward, because that does change what happens, so you get a fate for that. Rufus, did you do anything with your beliefs?
Minor things, I think.
He got better trousers.
He went myth to some people, and he was vain about his clothes.
Okay, unfortunately...
He just wanted to look better than the guy in the room does.
Unfortunately, it didn't drive the game forward, so no fate for you. Okay, did anybody play an instinct that made their character's life difficult?
It made my shot harder to aim carefully at that driver.
Okay. Actually, no. To be honest, that was actually a sensible time to aim
enough.
carefully. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I guess I could argue that my character became like
fair enough.
very nervous from people coming close to finding out his secret because of the messages he was getting.
Yeah, but it didn't make your life that difficult.
No, not really. No.
Okay, so nobody really screwed themselves over with instinct.
Also, not in the alleyway. I mean, I probably would have like become nervous or whatever with the people showing up, but again, it didn't really. Make
But your life's
harder,
easier because you left, though. Did anyone play a trait that sent the story in an unforeseen direction? I would say probably no to that one.
No,
none of us have.
Did anyone say something funny in character?
I think our entire argument was a bit silly. Like,
yeah. Was kind of good. It was like
that was a bit of a debate.
I think I was the only funny one. The rest of them was kind of lame.
He was. Ruford was pretty funny with his hi.
Okay,
No,
Ruford gets a fate point for hi.
Yeah.
It was so terrible. Did anyone have right skill, right time? Did anyone have an unusual skill that made the story go? Not really this time, actually. There was nobody pulling out strange skills.
No, not really.
Did anyone do really good or distinctive role-playing embodiment?
Where is she?
I'd say the normally best way to do this is just like, I won't nominate people because I'm the game master. You guys can vote which of you guys you think did particularly good. If there's no consistency, then I'll just skip it.
I'm gonna vote for Ruford because his character is just like I don't know. Like for me, it's actually a toss between Ruford and Kiko for me, because Kiko was playing his dunce of a character really well.
A dunce.
Okay, actually no, I think
dunce.
I think Kiko was playing his character extremely straight along the line and making a bunch of weird but sensible decisions that his character would have made. So I think Kiko gets the persona for that. Yeah, unfortunately, Phil and Ruford didn't really get to do very much this time, unfortunately. So you're going to miss out on a bunch of this, but that is the nature of life. Moldbreaker, no. Workhorse. Kiko was probably the workhorse. But I'm not going to. I mean, the session was kind of too choppy, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't give that to me for that.
Nobody achieved a personal goal and no deeds. Okay, so that's Arthur dished out. I'm also going to award everybody one fate, one persona, just because that session was kind of choppy. You'd ordinarily get more opportunities to get Arthur. Everybody gets.
So I've got 2 fates and 1 persona from that. Okay.
Yes.
So I have 3 fate and 1 persona now. Interesting.
I'm basically back up to what I had before.
Cool. And that is the session over. There wasn't enough happening there to bother voting on traits, and indeed voting on traits you normally wait a few sessions before doing.
Okay. So did any skills like actually upgrade or something?
No. You'd have to have taken multiple tests.
You'd have to have multiple scenes for that to happen. That was basically one scene.
Okay. It was only one scene, unfortunately.
Okay.
And that is that. So thank you everybody for joining us. Next session will be somewhat better planned, and we'll have more unity of action and more exciting things going on. And we shall join you next time.
Yep.
Here we go. So say goodbye. Each of the characters has to say goodbye in an appropriate way.
Where is she?
She's not over there, that's for sure.
So how's your sex
Have you tried
life?
threatening her?
I had nothing to do with any of it.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just quietly do something very important.
Flip the table!
You're picking up all the dice.
I'm picking up all the dice.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye, chaps.